I'll strip the comfort out of this first lesson and put the blade directly on the nerve. You were trained to believe people decide with logic, to recite facts, stack evidence, and wait for reason to triumph. That belief is why you keep losing. In the real world, attention is the gate, emotion is the key, and narrative is the lockpick that opens both. Machiavelli's insight, men judge more by the eye than by the hand, wasn't poetry, it was a field manual. We are visual first, tribal second, rational a distant third. Your charts don't matter if your presence is forgettable. Your data dies if your delivery is dull. Desire melts logic, fear deletes spreadsheets. The brain's ancient alarms, status threat, social rejection, loss of scarce rewards, decide before your argument arrives. If you want control, stop proving, start provoking. Engineer the feeling first, tension, relief, or inevitability. Then lace the facts under it like steel beneath velvet. Here is how you weaponize it. Step 1, frame, define the stakes in visceral terms so the audience feels the cost of inaction in their body, not just their mind. Step 2, contrast, paint the villain idea in bold strokes, then unveil your path as the sharp, simple alternative. Step 3, rhythm, short sentences to punch, long sentences to hypnotize, a cadence that pulls breath and heartbeat into your timing. Step 4, symbols, use metaphors that anchor abstract points in primal images, the fox that spots traps, the lion that ends arguments. Step 5, inevitability. Speak like the outcome is already decided and invite them to join the winning side. The goal is not to win debates, it's to make resistance feel expensive and alignment feel inevitable. Control the emotional weather, and the harvest of decisions is yours. Weakness is not neutral, it is not harmless, and it is never invisible. Weakness is a signal, a red flare in the night sky that predators can smell from miles away. This is why bullies never pick the fighter, they target the quiet one. It's why companies cut the meek first in layoffs, they sense dead weight. It's why women abandon the man who bends under pressure and cling to the man who stands firm. Machiavelli's law is simple. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Fear, even without love, keeps the wolves away. Love without strength invites betrayal. Weakness is not just the absence of strength. It is a magnet that drags betrayal, exploitation, and loss into your life. And worse, it spreads. A weak man doesn't only destroy himself, he poisons everyone forced to carry his burden, draining the strong until they either collapse with him or cut him loose. Society tells you to soften yourself, to embrace harmlessness, to call fragility virtue. They call it sensitivity, they call it being a better man, but predators call it dinner. A weak man forces others to bleed for him. A weak man creates chaos that the strong must clean. Weakness corrupts faster than cruelty, because at least the cruel stand on their own. Weak men create black holes, collapsing everyone around them into despair. This is why women instinctively chase men who radiate strength, because weakness cannot protect them. This is why leaders rise, even ruthless ones, because people prefer harsh order to the chaos of the weak. And this is why you must decide, predator or prey. There is no third option. Every interaction is a silent test. Who sets the rules and who obeys them blindly? Build yourself into someone too costly to devour. Not just muscles, but willpower, reputation, readiness. Weakness is a curse. Strength is survival. Be nice. That's what they drilled into you since childhood. Your parents, your teachers, even the media. Be agreeable. Keep the peace. Avoid confrontation. They promised you people would like you, doors would open, life would reward you. But here's the unfiltered truth. Niceness is not the same as goodness. Niceness is fear dressed in polite clothing. Niceness is hiding your teeth so you won't scare anyone, but the predators see right through it. A nice man isn't respected. He's tolerated, used, then discarded. Machiavelli warned us, men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims. The nice guy is the perfect victim. He says what people want to hear, hoping for scraps of approval. He avoids conflict, hoping silence will buy him peace. He bends, thinking he'll be rewarded for flexibility. But what happens to something that bends too easily? It breaks. Look at history. The great leaders, Caesar, Napoleon, Alexander, they were not remembered for being agreeable. They were feared, respected, followed. Yes, they could be merciful, yes, they could be generous, but only when it served their power, never at the cost of strength. Look at business, politics, relationships. Companies don't promote the nice employee who blends into the background. They promote the strategist who stands firm, who makes the hard calls. Women don't respect the nice guy who seeks validation. They're drawn to the man who commands respect without begging for it. Niceness without strength is poison. It repels attraction, kills opportunity, and signals weakness. Kindness with strength is magnetic, but niceness with weakness is repulsive, so stop trying to be liked. Start demanding to be respected. When the choice is between being loved, feared, or ignored, understand this. The worst fate is not to be hated, it's to be invisible. Loyalty. Since you were young, you were told it was the highest virtue. Be loyal to your friends, to your company, to your partner. But what they never told you is that loyalty is only valuable when it is reciprocated. Otherwise, it is not loyalty. It is slavery. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago when kings were betrayed by their closest allies, when leaders were devoured by those who swore allegiance. His warning was brutal. Loyalty is fragile, conditional, and dangerous if misplaced. Think about your own life. The friend who only calls when he needs something. The company that preaches "we're a family" until the next round of layoffs. The partner who demands commitment while keeping other options open. This isn't loyalty, it's exploitation wearing a mask. And the man who keeps giving without receiving back is not noble, he is a fool. And fools exist to be used. Strategic men understand the truth. Loyalty is a contract. It lives only as long as both sides benefit. The moment the contract is broken, all bets are off. Powerful men, real men, do not stay where they are disrespected, used, or betrayed. They withdraw their loyalty instantly without apology. Weak men stay, hoping things will change, convincing themselves that enduring disrespect makes them virtuous. But loyalty without reciprocity is weakness, and weakness attracts predators. That is why Machiavelli insisted, better to be feared than loved, because fear endures when love evaporates. To wield loyalty like a weapon, test people. Watch who appears when you have nothing to offer. See who stands by you in storms, not just in sunshine. Give loyalty generously to those who prove worthy, but the second betrayal enters the room, show your teeth and cut them loose. The wolf walks beside equals, the dog follows blindly. Decide which one you will be. Reputation is armor sharper than steel. A man can lose money, health, even allies, and rebuild. But once reputation is shattered, he walks through the world naked, exposed, already defeated before the battle even begins. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Translation: it doesn't matter who you are inside, it matters who they believe you are. The strong understand this and build myth around their name. Alexander the Great spread tales that he was a demigod. His enemies trembled before his armies even arrived. Steve Jobs didn't sell technology. He sold the aura of inevitability, the distortion field that bent investors, employees, and rivals to his will. That is reputation, the shadow that enters the room before you do, the echo of your name that makes people hesitate, obey, or fear. Without it, even your friends will doubt you. With it, even your enemies will think twice. But reputation is not authenticity, it is strategy. Weak men confuse honesty with exposure. They overshare their fears, confess their doubts, show their wounds, then wonder why no one respects them. The world does not reward raw truth, it rewards controlled truth. Strategic authenticity. Reveal only the parts of yourself that serve your goals. Guard your flaws like state secrets and amplify your strengths until they roar louder than criticism. Reputation is like fire. Left unattended, it dies. Spread recklessly, it burns you alive. But controlled, it gives light, warmth, and power. One slip, one crack can erase years of careful construction, and sometimes it never returns. That is why you must guard it more fiercely than your wealth, more fiercely than your relationships. Money can be remade, bonds can be rebuilt, But reputation, once tainted, often dies forever. Build it carefully. Guard it ruthlessly, because without armor, you are prey. War never ends. Most men comfort themselves with the illusion that peace is the default state of life and that war is the exception. Machiavelli knew the opposite is true. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. Conflict never disappears. It only hides in shadows, waiting for the moment you grow complacent. Your career is a battlefield where rivals watch for your stumble. Your relationships are battlegrounds where someone else waits to take your place if you weaken. Even among friends, boundaries are tested, loyalties weighed, dominance challenged. War is always here. The question is whether you are prepared or not. The weak sharpen their swords when the enemy already knocks at the gate. The strong sharpen every morning, even when the field looks calm, because they know the storm is coming. A warrior does not panic when war arrives. He simply steps into the role he has prepared for all along. Machiavelli's parable was clear. The fox cannot fight off wolves and the lion cannot see the traps. To survive, a man must become both, a fox to detect danger early and a lion to crush it when it comes. Weak men pick only one. The clever but fragile fox, outwitted eventually. The strong but blind lion ambushed in arrogance, but the man who is both fox and lion becomes untouchable. This law applies everywhere. In business, Amazon crushes competitors before they grow, stockpiling resources in times of abundance. In politics, nations build arsenals even during peace. In personal life, the man who trains his body when no one is watching, who saves money while others waste, who cultivates allies when he doesn't need them, this man is ready when chaos arrives. Here is the dark truth. Don't start wars, but be prepared to finish all of them. The man visibly ready for war rarely has to fight because predators always choose the weaker target. Deception is survival. The fairy tale you were fed says honesty rules the world, that truth always rises, that integrity wins in the end. That is the language of control, designed to keep you obedient while others sharpen their knives in secret. Machiavelli stripped that illusion bare when he wrote, "A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promises." He wasn't condemning corruption, he was describing reality. Look at nature. The fox feigns weakness to lure prey. The snake camouflages itself before it strikes. The anglerfish hides in darkness with its glowing lure until the victim swims into its jaws. Humans are no different. Politicians wrap lies in hope and patriotism. Corporations dress poison in ads of family, joy, and freedom. Lovers swear loyalty that lasts only until the cost becomes inconvenient. The world is not run by honesty, it is run by masks, and the man who refuses to play this game is still in the game, only as someone else's pawn. Weak men cling to honesty as a shield, believing if they are good enough the world will reward them. Fools. Honesty without strategy is self-destruction. The strong understand controlled deception, not endless lies, not reckless betrayal, but selective concealment. Reveal just enough to keep others blind to your true intent. Speak truths when they strengthen your position, but never when they expose your weakness. Break promises when keeping them would destroy you. This is not corruption. This is survival. To the naive, this sounds ruthless. To the powerful, it is the only way to endure. Because here is the brutal law. Even if you never deceive, others will deceive you. If you refuse to wear masks, others will still wear theirs. If you refuse to play the board, you are still a piece on it. The honest man is not noble. He is prey. The deceiver is not always evil. He is alive. Power does not belong to the pure. It belongs to the prepared. Morality is not truth. It is control. From the time you were a child, you were told there is good and there is evil, that the righteous are rewarded and the wicked are punished. But look closer. Who decides what good means? Not you, not the masses, always the powerful. When rulers want obedience, they call submission virtue. When leaders want sacrifice, they call it honor to die for them. When elites want authority, they redefine evil as anything that threatens their throne. And the people swallow it whole, believing the universe bends toward justice when history spits in their faces. The church burned men alive in the name of morality. Nations justified slavery, conquest and genocide in the name of morality. Modern governments bomb cities and cloak it in words like freedom and defense. Morality has never been absolute. It has always been narrative, a cage crafted by those who rule so the ruled will police themselves. Machiavelli saw this with chilling clarity. A prince must learn how not to be good, and to use this knowledge or not, according to necessity. The powerful preach morality, but do not obey it. They tell you lying is wrong, while they deceive you daily. They tell you selfishness is wicked, while they hoard wealth and resources. They tell you ruthlessness is evil, while crushing their rivals without hesitation. Why? Because a population convinced morality is fixed will never rebel. They will condemn each other, guilt themselves, and bow to rulers thinking it's righteous. But the rulers know morality is a tool, not a truth. That is why the wise man does not discard morality entirely. He wields it. He wears its mask when it serves him, breaks it when survival demands it, and never becomes prisoner of another man's code. The fool clings to morality at all costs and becomes a pawn. The strategist bends morality to his will and becomes a king. If you're ready to take these strategies beyond theory, check the pinned comment. The link I left there is the next step to becoming truly untouchable. Strip away the decorations of society, religion, politics, business, even family, and underneath you will always find the same machine grinding, fear and reward. This is the true currency of power. Machiavelli understood men are not moved by abstract ideals, not by reason or justice, but by immediate sensations, the terror of pain and the hunger for pleasure. Kings keep their crowns not by divine right, but because subjects fear punishment more than they hate oppression. Corporations hold employees not with loyalty speeches, but with the dangling carrot of promotions and the whip of unemployment. Parents raise children not through wisdom alone, but with consequences and rewards woven into daily life. It is always the same balance, the sting of fear and the relief of reward. And here is the brutal part. Most men fail because they only offer one side. Endless kindness breeds entitlement. Endless cruelty breeds rebellion. But the man who can wield both, alternating poison and honey, becomes unbreakable. Think about the abusive relationship that traps the victim. It is not cruelty alone that keeps them. It is the cycle. After pain comes kindness, after starvation comes affection, and that contrast becomes addictive. Think about the tyrant who reigns for decades. He punishes enough to inspire fear, but rewards just enough to prevent despair. That is the art. Too much fear without relief, people revolt. Too much reward without consequence, people exploit you. The Machiavellian leader mixes both until escape feels impossible. Want loyalty? Don't flood people with gifts. Starve them, then feed them when hunger peaks. Want obedience? Punish enough to remind them of pain, then grant relief so they cling to you. This is not theory. It is the blueprint of rulers, generals, seducers. Ask yourself in every interaction, what does this person fear losing most? What do they crave most desperately? And how can I position myself as the one who controls both? Answer that, and you own them. Trust is not stone. It is not steel. It is glass, beautiful, reflective, fragile. It shines when intact, but the moment a single crack appears, it shatters, and it will never be whole again. Yet society drilled into you that trust is sacred, permanent, the foundation of love, friendship, business, and honor. That lie destroys men. Think about it. How many friendships have ended over one betrayal, no matter how many good deeds came before? How many relationships died with a single broken promise? How quickly does trust in a leader evaporate after one scandal, one slip, one failure? This is not the exception. This is the rule. Trust does not erode slowly. It collapses instantly. And the man who builds his life on trust is building on glass. When it breaks beneath his feet, he falls with it. That is why Machiavelli understood the strong never beg for trust, never worship it, never depend on it. They manufacture it, they control it, and they abandon it when necessary. Look at the con artist. He thrives not because he is truly trustworthy, but because he knows how to appear trustworthy. Look at the politician. He doesn't need genuine trust, only enough of an illusion to secure the vote. Look at the seducer. He doesn't need unconditional trust, only enough to lower defenses. That is the Machiavellian law. Trust does not need to be real, only convincing. And here is the darker twist. The man who trusts too much is easier to control than the man who trusts nothing at all. Blind trust is a leash around your own neck, handed willingly to someone else. You forgive betrayal after betrayal, convinced they will change. You believe excuses no matter how hollow. You cling to illusions long after they've died, because the alternative, facing reality, terrifies you. This is why weak men are devoured. They think trust proves love, honor, morality, but in truth, trust is just leverage, a weapon waiting to be used. Use it, shape it, exploit it, but never rest your survival on it. Now we arrive at the point of no return, the climax of everything you've just heard. You've been told your entire life that people are rational, that loyalty is sacred, that niceness is virtue, that morality is truth, that honesty always wins, that trust is eternal. And every one of those beliefs was planted in you like a seed of weakness. Look back now with clear eyes. People are not rational, they are emotional. Niceness is not respect, it is disguised fear. Loyalty without reciprocity is slavery. Reputation is armor, stronger than steel. War is constant, only hidden in silence. Deception is not corruption, it is survival. Morality is not truth, it is narrative crafted by rulers. Fear and reward are the true currencies of control. And trust? Trust is glass, already cracked, destined to shatter. This is the knowledge you were never supposed to have, because once you see it, the blindfold never goes back on. From this moment forward, every smile will look like a mask, every promise like bait, every act of virtue like a strategy. You've stepped into darkness, and the light will never blind you again. If you're ready to take these strategies beyond theory, check the pinned comment. The link I left there is the next step to becoming truly untouchable. So the question is no longer, will you learn these truths? You already have. The question is, will you use them? Knowledge like this is a weapon. In the hands of the weak, it breeds paranoia, despair, and collapse. In the hands of the strong, it becomes power, the kind of power that bends rooms, shapes destinies, and writes history. The choice is brutal but simple. Bury this and pretend you never heard it, or wield it and become untouchable. Machiavelli did not leave us theories. He left us blueprints, strategies carved from the blood and ambition of rulers, seducers, generals, and kings. And this is only the beginning. If you want to go deeper, if you want to arm yourself with every law of power, every tactic of influence, every weapon of survival, then you cannot stop here. Subscribe now, hit that notification bell, because the next lesson will not make you comfortable, it will make you dangerous. And in a world of predators and prey, only the dangerous are ever truly free.